Uh, Radhika ma'am and Rajesh
Yes, sir.
Kulkarni, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir. Clearly.
All right. So let's do some sort of a testing. Rajesh, can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay. Can you switch on the the video? All right.
Yeah, I'm there.
Perfect. So let me try and switch on my video. Can you guys see me?
Yes,
Can,
sir.
all right. So I guess there are like about 42 attendees, and we will get started. I'm going to switch off the video, and then it is 55. So
Yeah.
I guess we can get started at 11 sharp, right? So the recording and everything is also going on, and I think I will do a Facebook live, which is going to go on Yang Post Facebook, and then we'll copy it and paste it. Let's see here.
You know that option.
Rajesh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We start at exactly 11.
Yes, sir.
What do you say, Sunil?
Huh.
So, Sunil sir, you have both the options of muting and unmuting.
Yes.
Yeah, because in Meet we only have a option to mute. We do not have
Yes.
an option to unmute people, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back in a minute.
Ji, sir.
जाधव सर बोला.
Do you want to start?
People are asking for link. Give me a minute.
All right, I guess we need to start because it's 11:02 and there are a lot of participants who are still joining.
Yes.
So why don't we get started?
Okay, sir. Okay. A very good morning to everyone and a warm welcome to webinar on entrepreneurship post-COVID-19. The seminar is brought to you by Srimati Indira Gandhi College of Engineering and Rajiv Gandhi College of Management Studies. SIGC and RGCMS both are Jawaharlal Nehru's trust brainchild and have collaborated for today's webinar. JNI Trust was established in 1985 and it runs 25 institutes in Maharashtra. Srimati Indira Gandhi College of Engineering was established in 1993. It has been catering to all aspiration of students, whether it is a meaningful job, entrepreneurship, or higher education. It is considered to be a placement capital of Navi Mumbai, as more than 250 placement drives have been conducted in less than an year. It is investing a lot of intellectual capital in job creators. Rajiv Gandhi College of Management Studies was established in 2009. It firmly believes that education rests on pillar of empowered and research-oriented faculty, holistic education, with special emphasis on research and entrepreneurship. We sculpt leaders for future, entrepreneurs in short. Now let me take this opportunity to introduce our esteemed presenters for today. We have Mr. Sunil Jadhav and Professor Dr. Rajesh Kulkarni. Mr. Sunil Jadhav is Managing Trustee of JNI Trust. He is also founder of Ignition Incubation Center and has a deep passion to develop innovation and entrepreneurship in India. He has been mentoring various student entrepreneurs and these days focusing on innovation and entrepreneurship in agriculture and smart energy using technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain. Before overseeing JNI Trust in full-time capacity, Mr. Jadhav held senior leadership positions for 20 years as Senior Vice President, Institutional Clients at Citibank and Director, Wealth Management at UBS in New York. Mr. Jadhav graduated from BITS Pilani in Electrical and Electronics Engineering and did his master's in Computer and Information Science from New Jersey Institute of Technology, US. He is also Level 3 Chartered Financial Analyst. Mr. Jadhav considers himself as a lifelong learner, and these days he's taking certification courses in entrepreneurship program from Harvard University, US. Now I'll be introducing Professor Kulkarni. Professor Dr. Rajesh Kulkarni is Director of Srimati Indira Gandhi College of Engineering. He is also constant mentor at Ignition Incubation Center and a passionate teacher, motivating speaker, author, publisher, and a change agent for organizational transformation. His webinars, seminars, FDPs have reached more than 15,000 participants who have immensely benefited from the same. He is a founder of UMA Publications Nanded and Cave Academy Pune. He is a distant associate for IP Adventure LLP company and IPR startup. He has influenced more than 200 recruitments of students, colleagues, and needy. Adding more feathers to his cap, he has registered 8 patents, published more than 5 books, and 20 research papers in reputed journals. Now, I would like to hand over the proceedings to Sunil, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope that I'm audible. So let me share my screen and we'll get started. All right. Can everybody see the screen, please? I will ask.
Yes.
All right, let's do this. Okay. So today's session, it's going to be pretty intense. What we are trying to do here is that we are trying to wrap up about 6 months or one semester's course within 1 hour. So just bear with us if we are rushing through something. You will get ample of opportunity to ask questions, and this is the second time I'm doing this, and there are tons and tons of questions. So let's get into the meat of it, right? So first up, the title is we are going to talk about entrepreneurship and startup post COVID-19 world. As you know, that world is changing, and why it is important. We'll start getting right into the presentation. Okay, some housekeeping stuff. Of course, everybody's microphones are on mute. I hope that I'm audible. If I'm not audible, please, fellow panelists, please let me know that if I'm speaking way too fast or if I'm not audible, right? And post your questions in chat window. I will try to answer them in the time period. And if not, then we'll definitely get back to you later. All right, so first up, what we expect from this entire 1 hour of presentations, right? So 1 hour of this journey, and then we'll follow it up for maybe half an hour of question answer session, right? So to begin with, why we are talking about entrepreneurship, right? And why it is an important career choice today. So I guess that we'll discuss that thing in little detail. Now, if you want to become an entrepreneur, what I wanted to know is that, like, what kind of characteristics an entrepreneur should have. And then we'll pick up few very, very important things, which I get questions all the time whenever I am mentoring someone. And most of the mentees, they will ask me this question about idea validation. How do we do design thinking? What should be the investor pitch? So I'm going to take about 30-35 minutes. And after that, I'm going to hand it over to Rajesh Kulkarni. Rajesh Kulkarni is going to talk about the specific things about a startup and what are some of the approaches about the startup. What is a co-working space? What do you mean by incubation centers, right? What we expect in the startup founders, who are the angel investors, how do you get the funding, and so on and so forth. How do you register? What are some of the different ways of registering the company, whether it should be LLC and whether it should be a private limited, and so on and so forth. And then if time permits, we will also talk about a specific startup, which is we are extremely passionate about, and this is what we have incubated at our Ignition Incubation Center, Ignis Nova. We may talk about it, but what exactly they are doing. All right. So before we get into discussing anything, I think it is really important to know where we are today. And there is no secret about what exactly we are going through. But let's try to take a minute and understand what exactly is happening. By the way, I'll be switching between Hindi and English, just to make it a point that in order for you to become an entrepreneur, there is absolutely no need that you need to talk in fluent English or anything like that, right? I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs who have equal command on Hindi or Marathi, and they are doing absolutely, absolutely phenomenal, right? So it is really important to understand where we are, right? We know what exactly the entire world is going through. I have picked up some graphs, and what we can see is that we are nowhere even near at the peak. So people are talking about bending the curve and so on and so forth. But as you can see, I just highlighted United States and India. United States per million cases are going up and they are very, very high. In India, it is not there. So I don't know whether it is good news or bad news, or maybe we have not hit the peak. But that is a fact. And one of the very important things which I can realize is that we are taking this opportunity to learn, right? Now, let's try to take one more minute to understand what we know and what we don't know, right? What we know, cases are rising. There is no secret, right? We are nowhere near bending the curve. Government is trying. Definitely, we see a lot of efforts being put in from government. But due to limited, there is a limited response because of geography and population. We are one of the most populous country after China. And government is trying to get a control of this thing, but we see, especially in Maharashtra and Mumbai, the cases are rising. We are going through a tough economic recession. No doubt about that. A lot of companies are closing shop. They are trying to figure out how they are going to pay their employees. A lot of they are going through furloughs, layoffs, and so on and so forth. Now, also it is important कि हमें क्या पता नहीं है, what we don't know. What we don't know is that we really don't know when this pandemic is going to end. Vaccine कब तैयार होगा? Whether the vaccine will be available? How long this recession will last? Right? But I would like to end this specific slide on a very, very important note. And that note is that humanity, right from the dawn of civilization, what we have seen is nothing lasts. Nothing lasts. This too shall pass. That is exactly the feeling which I have. We have seen World War I, we have seen World War II, we have seen Spanish flu, we have seen plagues. But everything, the humanity has a tendency of being absolutely resilient. And they have understood it, they have overcome it, and they have come out even a better civilization. So that is a fact. We know for a fact. Okay, we know this, we don't know this, and we also believe in the civilization, right? So karna kya chahiye? What should we do? And these are very important two pictures which I picked up from internet, but very, very important. What do you do? When a fisherman cannot go to sea, what do? They repair their nets, they mend their nets. It is absolutely important that when the sea starts calming down, you have your nets, you have your tools, so that you can go and do more fishing. So that is a epitome of what we are trying to do here, right? We are trying to learn, we are trying to take an opportunity when in this lockdown to learn some new things. And I've been doing that constantly. I've been listening to all the webinars, seminars, I'm attending Harvard classes just to learn, so that when this lockdown opens up, at least we can come out saying that we learned something. And Robert Frost has done a very, one of the lines from his poem is that the best way out is through it. So we have to accept it, right? And we had to walk through this. We had to do this baptism by fire, as I call it. So जो भी करना है, इसी इसमें करना है, सीखना है, and then hopefully we evolve as a better selves of our. Okay, now let's get into the meat of this thing, right? And I'm just going to do a quick time check. Oh, okay. It is very important to define some of the terms, right? Who are the entrepreneurs? Entrepreneur कौन होते हैं? Entrepreneur हमारे एकदम talking in a very raw language is that somebody who wants to run an enterprise. धंधा करना है, business करना है, right? How do you do that? You have to assume risk, right? You have that specific characteristics कि खुद का कुछ करना है. Those are the entrepreneurs. But we also see another breed, which I call them entrepreneurs. Entrepreneur क्या होते हैं? These are the people who are actually working in an organization, but they have a considerable autonomy, और वहां पे भी they are trying to do something new, right? So they are trying to do something new. They are trying to do some sort of an innovation. They are trying to do something better even in that organization. And the last definition here is ennopreneurs. What do you mean by ennopreneurs? Ennopreneurs are no one, but they are entrepreneurs who have an innovative idea. So what I call them is they are innovative, disruptive entrepreneurs. So इस presentation में I am going to use entrepreneurs terms interchangeably for entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. होपफुली ये सबके लिए एप्लीकेबल है, जो भी हम आगे की जो चीजें सीखेंगे वो सबके लिए एप्लीकेबल है. Okay, now the question is that why entrepreneurs and why now? Think about it. We are going through this major pandemic. Who do you think is going to find a solution for this pandemic, right? Who is going to create all those masks? Who is going to create all those PPEs, PPEs, how they are going to get delivered? These are entrepreneurs. अगर वैक्सीन भी अगर डिस्कवर होती तो वैक्सीन will get discovered by innovation. But how the vaccine needs to be manufactured, इतने large scale पे manufacture कैसी होगी? How we are going to deliver that vaccine? These are the things which entrepreneurs will be tasked. The society is going to ask all these entrepreneurs to come up with some sort of a solution to get us out of this pandemic. Right? Even for that matter, we know that the entire country is going through recession. So when I was in US, we went through major recessions when most of the banks started falling. And at that time, the entrepreneurs are intrapreneurs within the organization, big organization. They come up with these new models, new disruptive innovations, especially with the trying to figure out what are some of the financial models which we are going to take this entire finance industry out of this mess. Logistic, transport, tourism. आज के तारीख में आज, if we see a lot of aircraft, they are sitting on tarmacs. No, none of the aircraft is taking off, right? But now there are entrepreneurs. They say that, you know what, if we cannot carry passengers, maybe we can carry all the medicines, we can carry all the medical and healthcare supplies. And that is absolutely important. So that again, some entrepreneurs are coming up saying that, you know what, maybe this is a better way to do things. So that is absolutely important, right? So I think that in this era, when we are in lockdown, we are sitting at home, jobs will be there. I don't know what exactly is going to happen with the jobs. But the most important things which I strongly believe, and that's the reason why we are conducting this series about entrepreneurship, is that only entrepreneurs can take us out of this pandemic, out of this economic recession. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about what are some of the characteristics of an entrepreneur, right? One of the very important things which I want everybody to know and understand है यार अपने जहन में डालना है क्या है कि entrepreneurs are not born, right? Of course, you might get a little bit of advantage that आप किसी business family से belong करते हो तो थोड़ा सा advantage होता है. But what I have seen is that most of the entrepreneurs, they are trained, they are groomed, they are motivated, they are mentored. And who says this? This is one of my gurus, David McLennan. उनके काफी सारे books अगर आप पढ़ोगे, so he has done this kind of experimentation in entrepreneurship, trying to figure out what makes a successful entrepreneur. ये slide इसलिए important है कि you need to pay a little bit of attention about, do you have that kind of traits? If you don't have that kind of traits, can we build that kind of traits? So one of the questions which I always get is, where does the motivation comes from for being an entrepreneur? And what we have seen in all the experimentation is that it is something personal characteristics. Environment hai. Say for example, there is like a very lively innovation and entrepreneurship environment in and around you. You will be much more motivated to pick up that trait. And then you might have some sort of a lot of people, they send an email saying that I have a fantastic business idea. And that is the thing which they want to do something hatke. They want to do something different, right? But at the same time, there are entry barriers. And this is one of the things which we need to watch out for. A lot of times what I've seen is that attitude plays a lot of role, saying that, you know what, maybe, you know, I might as well do some sort of a job. क्या धंधा वगैरह करना मेरे इसके बस की बात नहीं है. The second thing is that somebody says that, you know what, maybe I will wait. मैं थोड़ा सा job करूँगा 1-2 साल, ठीक है, which is okay too. But again, it is just going to get you into some sort of a comfort zone. काफी लोगों में confidence नहीं रहता है, right? कि कर सकूँगा या नहीं कर सकता हूँ. But what I have seen is that people, if they are enough motivated, they can overcome all these entry barriers. And last entry barrier is approval from family. This becomes absolutely important, and I have seen it time and again, wherein a lot of student entrepreneurs, they struggle for 1 year, 2 years, right? And the family comes and says that, yeah, why you're doing this? काहे को time pass कर रहा है? Why don't you pick up a job? At least वहाँ से कुछ तो होगा. And that is another thing which we need to keep on mentoring, saying that, you know what, your idea is very solid. Please go ahead. We will support you, right? And this is where the incubation center and mentors will come into play. This is another theoretical some of the traits. It is very theoretical, but I think that you need to, the whole idea of this presentation is trying to put some sort of a structure on how you can become an entrepreneur, right? So ये सारी चीजें भी बहुत important होती हैं. Like say, for example, what are some of the traits? Some of the traits are you need to have a need for achievement. Somebody wants to say that, you know what, मुझे कुछ तो करके बताना है. Autonomy का मतलब ये है कि I don't want to work for a boss. I want to do something on my own. मेरे में risk taking है, I can manage the risk properly. मेरे पास innovation है, creativity है, right? I also have a drive and determination that I want to do something, and I have 110% confidence and belief in myself. Now I have left a link here. It's a very interesting. This is what I had gotten from AICT as well. Get2test.net. I hope if that link is working, it is going to ask you about like 50 or 100 questions, and it will tell you where exactly आप successful entrepreneur बन सकते हो, नहीं बन सकते हो, आपके पास traits कौन से हैं, and which traits you need to work on. Then once you become a successful, once you start taking this journey, what are some of the competencies which we see in them, right? Most of these guys, they have initiative. They are being absolutely effective. They are excellent in making planning. They can influence other people. And they can empathize. Why empathy is important? Because you need to understand the problem of the society, right? तो वो भी हमने काफी सारे competencies in successful entrepreneurs में देखे हैं. All right, now I'm just checking my time and so that I can speed up or slow down my my discussions, right? Journey of a startup. Typical journey क्या होती है, right? Somebody has a product idea. Then they will say that, you know what, I have this product idea. We expect them to do some sort of a proof of concept. We meaning incubation center or mentors or investors. बोल देखिए ठीक है कुछ तो करके बताओ, proof of concept करो. Then after that, hopefully, if the idea is good, if they have put in a lot of efforts, then the incubation thing starts. And I will tell you, I think Rajesh will also talk to you about what exactly we mean by incubation center. But incubation center, just like Ignition Incubation Center, they will take you through this journey, like how to help to creating a prototype. How do you refine the product? How do you do the commercial sell? And then you get to the market success, right? So that is a typical journey which I wanted you to at least understand the concepts or terminology which has been used. All right, now the next concepts are, again, as I said, that we are developing this pedagogy of how to become an entrepreneur and also trying to take you through this entire journey. But this everything is squeezed within this 1 hour presentation. So I might go fast somewhere. But definitely you can ask questions, as I said at the beginning of this the presentation, right? So what is a typical product development process? In product development process, you have some sort of an idea, right? Then you will do some sort of an evaluation. You will do detailed investigation. You develop that product. You have to test it, and then eventually you are going to do the market launch. So this is a typical journey from start to end. But it takes years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, jitna bhi time lagta hai, but this is the typical journey. And this is a structure which you need to have when you start taking this journey. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the concept of idea validation, right? ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है because ये हमारा foundation है, right? Before you get into taking this journey, a lot of times what happens is that we have an idea and we think that this is the best thing which is going to happen in the market. But you are married to that idea. You are very close to it. You need to validate that idea. और एक validation के लिए एक छोटा सा framework है. क्या framework है? Right? The framework is, first of all, understand what is the definition of validation. It is a process of gathering evidence and learning around the business idea through experimentation and user testing. Right? ये बहुत ज़्यादा जरूरी है. So दो approaches है. एक है in a software methodology what we call is a waterfall approach और दूसरा lean approach or what we call है ना agile approach. Waterfall approach में कैसा है? Example, like you keep on building. तुम्हारे idea है, you keep on doing it, right? Say for example, you have an idea of building a car, right? I don't know. So I'm just making up that example, right? And then you keep on building, and then you release it to the market, and then you validate it, right? Sometimes it might work, but most of the times it is a very risky proposition because you really don't know what are the things which are going to work and whether you have spent so much amount of time and energy trying to get to that last prototype. Other approach is what we call agile, right? Do a small things, experiment it, release it, get the feedback, again correct it. So what we call it, ship and fix. right? Keep on experimenting over a period of that product life cycle development. Now, this is a framework and it takes a lot of time to walk a lot of people through this entire idea validation framework. I will try to cover it within 3 or 4 minutes, okay? So, what are the steps of idea validation? And mind it, idea validation का मतलब ये है कि it is not necessary that you are at the beginning stages or at the initial stages of your enterprise. That a validation can happen and even throughout the entire journey of your product development, right? Right from even releasing, how to release this thing to market. So इसके पीछे का मतलब सिर्फ एक ही है कि आपको लगता है कि you have some sort of an assumption which needs to be validated, right? You need to have a question. एक question है जिसको तुमको validate करना है. तो what you say is that, you know what, whether something is needed in the market, that is a question. Your assumption is that yeah, it is definitely needed, but then you need to do some sort of a hypothesis. कितना market share है, कितने लोगों को पता है, right? And then you need to create a small experiment, and you need to make sure that experiment wherein you check your hypothesis now, whether your hypothesis makes any sense or not. Very important thing, difference between assumption and hypothesis. Assumption का मतलब है कि you believe in something, you don't have an evidence to back it. ये तुम्हारा दिल का belief है. Hypothesis है मैंने कि कुछ तो educated guess है. यहाँ पे सबने बहुत ही important चीज याद रखनी है, वो ये है कि before you take this journey, market research करना is so very important, right? Because हम जो करते हैं, जो भी idea है, जो भी चीज हम करते हैं, since we are very very close to it, या अपने बच्चे के जैसा होता है तो you fall in love with it. But अपना बच्चा बाकी के लोगों को कितना अच्छा लगता है, I really don't know. So you need to go and do that experimentation and take it to the market. All right. So थोड़ा सा एक little bit diving detail into this idea validation एक example के साथ बताता हूँ. Right? Like say for example, you might have a question saying, do people have a problem with lighting? Lighting का कुछ तो बना रहे हो, right? So that is a problem statement which you need to clearly face, right? Even when you are in a solution phase, you can say that are people looking for the lamp with a motion detector? Or if you are in feature stages, a lot of times what we have seen is that कि features की जरूरत भी नहीं है, फिर भी people like Microsoft जैसा operating system 10 बनाता है, lot of features डालते हैं, पता नहीं कौन use करता है उसको. So those are the things wherein you need to, even in features phase, you need to ask a question. यहाँ पे बहुत जरूरी ये है कि you need to understand that asking a question, making an assumption about that answer to that question, and whether your assumption is right or not, ये पूरी journey है, right? So this is something which I think that you need to take care of, and there is an entire framework. And we have, again, like, we teach about how to create this framework and how to validate your idea. Next thing, I'm going to take some time here again in design thinking, and I think that I'm doing pretty okay as far as time is concerned. Very, very important, right? Lot of people, what I've seen is that they have some sort of idea and they are very, very passionate about it. Correct. So whether you have an idea about a product, whether you have an idea about a service, whether you have idea about anything, this entire design thinking approach helps you. थोड़ा 2 मिनट के लिए अपन इस पे देखते हैं कि what exactly it means by that, right? Design thinking का मतलब ये है कि you have 4 different phases: discover, define, develop, and deliver. What do you mean by discover? Discover का मतलब ये है कि उस वक्त हम जाके market research करें कि इसकी जरूरत है क्या, right? And here you need to do a divergent research. As you can see, 2 diamonds है, double diamond है, कि diamond दिख रहे हैं 2. तो first diamond के इसमें, as you can see that there is a divergent way. So you go and you spread out, trying to figure out what should be the question which we want to solve. So you need to go and do multiple market research. So it's a divergent. Then you said that, okay, TK, we got all these things. Then you need to converge to one problem statement. Oh, problem statement हम क्या करना चाहते हो? ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. Phrasing of a problem statement becomes absolutely important, because you might try and phrase a problem if you don't follow the process and you don't do the market research. You will try to ask a problem which nobody cares for a solution, right? So वो भी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. अच्छा भी problem statement आ गया, right? Now again you diverge trying to figure out, okay, now this is the problem statement, how we are going to solve, how many solutions can I have, right? So you create a multiple list of all the solutions about how you can solve the problem. Then again, when you are on the top of the second diamond, now you say that okay, now we need to figure out कि ये एक solution है, इसको solution एक solution को हमको solve करके हमको deliver करना है. So you are developing multiple solutions, but when you are delivering to one solution. ये बहुत ज़्यादा जरूरी है. काफी लोग they don't follow this process and they are all over the place, right? Either the problem statement ढंग से नहीं बना है, either market research ढंग से नहीं बना है, या you might have multiple solutions and you are not picked up the right solution, and then you end up towards the end saying that, oh my God, this is something which we wanted to deliver and we didn't do it, right? And then there is always a constant feedback loop. All right. Now again, what I wanted to talk about is that a lot of times I get this question. This is like some frequently asked questions which I get, right? And I'm trying to address those questions. Sir, what is the difference between POC? What prototype का क्या मतलब है? Pilot का क्या मतलब है? Production का क्या मतलब है? तो ये थोड़ा सा एक difference है. POC का मतलब है कि you are done some sort of an isolated exercise. This POC becomes absolutely important because you need to, if you want to go to the investor, you want to go to the incubation center, they'll say that आपका idea है, आपका कुछ proof of concept बना है क्या? Right? And then second thing is a prototype. Prototype is an ugly model. थोड़ा सा wireframe बना के रखा है. And then it might take weeks. You are not trying to simulate the entire system. Pilot का मतलब ये है कि आपने functionality पूरी ली है, but you have released it to limited number of people. Why you do that? Because you want to test. इसमें अगर कुछ bugs है, कुछ problems है, तो you can take them back to the drawing board and you can fix them. And the production, of course, is a full-fledged system, right? So इसमें just like a proof of concept might be just like making an aircraft like with a paper. So that is some graphics which I had done. All right. So here again, I want to spend 2 minutes, and I think that I am doing pretty okay on time. This is absolutely important. अगर पूरे presentation में अगर आपको कोई चीज लेके जानी है तो ये business model canvas. This is very important for you to understand. ये अपने जहन में डालना है. What do you mean by business model canvas? काफी बार लोग आपके पूछते हैं कि यार ये करना चाहता है, आप तुम्हारा मॉडल क्या है, तुम्हारा बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है? एंड दिस अप्लाइज टू वेदर यू आर अ स्टार्टअप, वेदर यू आर एन एग्जिस्टिंग बिजनेस, whether you are working in a corporation, wherever you are doing it, this is a figurative thing about your business model. Like you as a person, तुम्हारा business model क्या है? अगर आपका कुछ business है, कुछ आप कर रहे हो, तो तुम्हारा business model क्या है? तो ये एक structure है जहाँ के आप ये अगर कोई पूछता है business model क्या है, तो these are the things which you need to address. Right? So here an example I have taken is Uber, right? Business model campus उनका कैसा होगा? At the center of this business model campus, you will see there is something called value proposition. Why you are doing it? क्या problem solve कर रहे हो? Right? Like say for example in Uber, they say that you know what, I can get a taxi anywhere, anytime. Right? It is the easiest way around. और drivers के लिए ये हो सकता है कि you know what, you can earn money when you want. All right, ठीक है. Then what will be your key activities? Your key activities हो कि तुम ड्राइवर्स को हायर करना है, तुम्हारा ऑपरेशन है. Who are you going to be your key resources? जैसा टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म है, right? Right? What is, how do you maintain the customer relationship? Customer relationship, what does Uber do? They have this rating system. You can rate driver can rate you, right? Then who are your customer segments? तुम्हारे riders है, तुम्हारे drivers है. What is your revenue stream? What is your cost structure? पैसा कितना लगने वाला है? Revenue किस तरह से बनाएंगे, right? तुम्हारे partners कौन से? Key partners. इसमें समझो से for example कोई investor आएगा, payment processor है जो कि online payment process करते हैं, right? So these are the things which you should have whenever you talk about your business model. One of the very important things which I want to tell you is that the channels. ये channels हम जैसे investors या incubation center वालों को बहुत ज़्यादा important है. क्यों? Because I'll ask as a startup how you are planning to scale. So how do they scale? Uber, their scaling is so easy. They have an app. App download कर दिया, खत्म, customer बन गया, right? App download कर दिया, you register yourself as a driver. That is the beauty of these aggregators. Right? Now think about it. If you own a fleet of taxi, what will be your channels? Your channels will be, you will have to hire new taxis. That becomes very expensive, right? If say for example, you are a barber shop, you want to open up a chain. So chain open करने के लिए you will have to add on all those shops. So that is going to be your channel, right? Something very, very important, and I want you to take a time, understand and digest this thing. Okay, moving on. All right. Now let's talk about again, this is a frequently asked question which I get. Okay, what are essentials of investor pitch? पैसा मांगना है, मांगने जाना है, तो investor क्या मांगते हैं? What exactly they want? So यहाँ पे I have tried to highlight some of the things which you should always and always incorporate in your deck. Right? ये तुम्हारा presentation deck जो है उसमें तुमको डालना है. One of the things, elevator pitch. What do you mean by elevator pitch? ये बहुत जरूरी है. Right? What is going to happen is that a lot of times what you are going to see is you will see that there are a lot of investors who don't have enough time. They will say, okay, I am going to give you only time. I am on 7th floor. I have to go to the ground floor. You are in my elevator. You tell me entire thing about your business in that time. Very important, right? Because I don't want to sit there and talk and listen to half an hour, 15 minutes कि क्या कर रहा है, कैसा कर रहा है. That is the time which I am going to allocate you. 1 or 2 minutes. That's it. उसमें आपको तुमको प्रैक्टिस बहुत ज्यादा करना पड़ता है इसमें. So एक लाइन समरी, short and memorable, relatable, क्या प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. That's it. मैं ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे पहुंचाऊं, I am out of the elevator, right? And if I like you, I'll say, you know what, that was a fantastic thing. Why don't you put up some time on my calendar and we can take it further, right? Either that or I will say, okay, this is good. We'll see you next time. Then second thing, moment, traction, expertise, your key numbers. Who are your founders? आपको पास कोई प्रेस मिला है क्या, कोई अवार्ड्स मिला है क्या, कोई पायलट्स है क्या, right? Here what I drive an analogy is founders का achievements इतने important हैं, right? Because what I say always is that on betting on a startups, and we'll get into the startup, betting on a startup is like a betting on a horse. जो रेस कोर्स पे जो घोड़े दौड़ते हैं, तो तुम सिर्फ घोड़े पे पैसा नहीं लगाते हो, तुम जॉकी पे भी पैसा लगाते हो, राइट? तो घोड़ा तुम्हारी आइडिया है, राइट? बट जॉकी इज द गाय हु इज एग्जीक्यूटिंग इट. तो फाउंडर है वो, उनका क्या अचीवमेंट है, उनके पास कितना पैशन है. काफी बार घोड़ा कमजोर होता है बट जॉकी इज वेरी पैशनेट और वो बिजनेस भी सक्सेसफुल हो जाता है. काफी हमने देखे आइडियाज, खिचड़ी.com था, खिचड़ी बना के बेच रहे, बट स्टिल ही मेड लॉट ऑफ मनी बिकॉज ही वाज पैशनेट, राइट? Then market opportunity, size of market क्या है, customer base क्या है, what is the problem which you are trying to solve. आज की तारीख में कोई solutions है उसके लिए, right? This is the problem. You need to be upfront कि इसके लिए ये solution है, but my solution is different. मेरे solution में ये products है, मेरे solution में ये features है, right? Then you need to talk about your business model. Very important. Now you got my attention, right? Business model में तुम canvas ले सकते हो कि revenue streams कहाँ से आ रहा है पैसा, आपका मार्केट अप्रोच और स्ट्रेटेजी कैसा है, जो चैनल्स की बात कर रहा था, हाउ यू आर प्लानिंग टू ग्रो द बिजनेस, राइट? बिकॉज इफ आई वांट टू इन्वेस्ट, आई वांट टू गेट एन एग्जिट आल्सो, राइट? आई वांट टू मेक मनी आउट ऑफ योर बिजनेस. देन व्हाट आर द टर्म्स, कौन है इन्वेस्टर, कौन से टीम, कौन है तुम्हारी, हु आर योर एडवाइजर्स, हु आर योर मेंटर्स, राइट? देन ऑफ कोर्स वी नीड टू टॉक अबाउट द फाइनेंशियल्स. कंपटीशन किसकी किसकी है, दीज आर ऑल द थिंग्स व्हिच यू नीड टू हैव, यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ मनी. और सबसे लास्ट में पूछेगा कि व्हाट डू यू नीड, हाउ मच यू वांट. And you can say that, you know what, I want 10 lakh, 15 lakhs. The question which I'm going to ask as an investor is, okay, I will give you that. How you are planning to spend? उसका roadmap बताओ, किस तरह से spend करोगे, कहाँ लगेगा? All these things are absolutely important when you are ready to go for the investment pitch. So at 11:38, I think I am towards the end of my thing, and if Rajesh needs me, I will join in the rest of the presentation. So Rajesh, over to you. You want to take it over, please?
Thank you, Sunil. It's always tough to follow up once you talk, but I'll try to match all the participants. One message to all of you: 200 odd participants are there. 200 odd entrepreneurs and startups should be started post this session. I'll not talk because Sunil has raised this bar very high. I'll show you a few pictures. Look at the picture, very pleasing pictures. People are sitting in their offices. They're making coffees, busy on their mobiles. There is a beautiful office here. Chairs are there, tables are there. Something called as Innovate is written. Very attractive, no? This also is a very pleasing place to sit and work, sit and chat, relax. Here, many people you see sharing the space, tables, laptops, lot of activities happening. Yeah, this is our space rather. This is Ignition Incubation Center, our incubation center in our college. And these guys are from AgriFortel or Ignis Nova. This is the co-working space, nicely decorated, nicely coming up of our Ignition Incubation Center. So what you had seen, the pictures were of the world's topmost co-working spaces, and the brands were WeWork, Innovate, 91 Springboard. So these are the topmost co-working spaces in the world, and Ignition is driving itself towards that journey as a co-working space as well as an incubation. So what is a co-working space is it's an ecosystem basically where you'll get internet, conferencing, photo scanning. You have spaces for small team. There will be a dynamic seat allocation system for freelancers and entrepreneurs. And there will be a lot of networking events. So this is the place where a lot of investors come, a lot of startups come, a lot of banks come. So it's rather you can network here and get connected with the desired people if you're a startup. As I said, we have an incubation center by name Ignition Incubation Center. Similarly, IIT Mumbai has an incubation center. IIT Delhi, rather, most of the IITs or rather most of the educational institutions nowadays, they claim they have an incubation center. Kerala has the TTBI. So many incubation centers are there. So what is an incubation center? This is the place where people get incubated. Like in our incubation center, we have 3 companies presently which are being incubated. It's an ecosystem wherein the entire ecosystem will try to help you to go from idea to reality or from a concept to product. They'll help support in your business development. They'll get you initial growth funds. They'll get you networking possibilities, linkages, labs, mentoring, advisory support. They'll try to speed up the growth and success of your startup. This, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start a company, remember that it's not just to avoid your routine or avoid office, avoid pressure, avoid 9 to 5 deadlines and so on, quarterly numbers. It's, if you want to avoid that, then you're not made for the startup. You are an entrepreneur, you are a startup entity. If you really feel for a problem statement, if you are personally affected by something and you want to have a solution for that, if you're totally convinced about the problem statement, then you should be an entrepreneur. You should go for a startup. All the responsibilities are yours. All the decisions are yours. The load or the responsibility is 10 times more than a routine job. If you want to be an entrepreneur, just don't say that I just passed out from BE or I'm in my 3rd year and I'm starting my company. Never do that. We strongly recommend go get some exposure, go get some training, join internship in a good startup company, preferably work in a startup company, work under bosses with varied exposures, technical and all, and work under bosses, I say, who are very difficult to work with, but your learning curve will improve with them. When you join such ecosystem, try to grab any work which is allocated, try to be very, very flexible, stay late, gel well with the team. That's the suggestion. The most important aspect, once you start your company, now you're the founder of the company. So your entire demeanor should change, your body language, your smile, the way you dress, everything should show enthusiasm, your upbeatness. Because what will happen is you're not a student now in 3rd year or final year and you get frustrated by some assignment or by some exam and you say, boss, I want to quit. Now there are people who are looking up to you and looking up to the success of your startup. There are people who joined with you. So they will get affected the way you get affected. So never show your negative aspects. If you're totally stressed, still try to act, try to smile, try to be always positive. The most important thing I give credit to here in Ignition Incubation System, I have Ignis Nova or AgriFortel guys who are from BITS Pilani. They have literally given a practical example of what I'm trying to convey here. You design a support system, surround yourself with people with experience like Mr. Sunil Yadav or like people like him. Day to day, update them, not because they are going to ask you, not because they say that you are answerable to us, just to be in touch with the system. You update your activities, create mock sessions, design PPTs, practice a lot, how to pitch, how to do a client talk, bring a lot of guests from the industry, let there be a lot of churning. We all have thousands of ideas, and if we dream all those thousands of ideas in our dream will be successful within a minute or within a night. But there is a major differentiator. What is that? If you want a startup to be a successful startup, then I give 80% to execution and 20 to 25% to idea. And if your startup execution need to be successful, then the processes are the key to success. Your pricing plan should be in place, your prototype should be in place. As Sunil sir said, your POC should be ready. So if you're a startup, how do you differentiate your startup with a small company? Let us say I start a Kirana shop, a small in my house itself. Am I a startup? Not sure. Who is a startup then? A startup is the one who can scale and who can scale exponentially. These are the major characteristics of a startup, which will differentiate a startup with other businesses. And the vision of a startup should be on a very grandeur, very high level. Okay. So maybe it will take 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to achieve your vision, but don't worry about that. Just you say, we want to be the best in the domain, whichever domain we are entering. So that can be your vision. Vision should be grand. As I said, the differentiator for a startup is how fast you're going to scale, how fast you're going to grow. Okay. So, and this again is totally dependent on the process orientation. Let me tell you very frankly, being in touch with all guys from the industry, all those guys who are working, they hate process. They said, "मेरे company में बहुत ज़्यादा process है यार, बहुत मुझे तकलीफ होता है." But if you are a startup, never use that line, because the success of a startup depends on process orientation. If you put all your processes in place, then you are successful. What is the meaning of this? Processes are in place. Even if the founder, even if all the employees of that company are not present physically that day, all the work should happen on autopilot mode. That's what is the meaning for me, at least, the meaning of process orientation. The most interesting thing, persistence. What is it? We all are good at starting something new. Like, let us do this. So on the first day, our enthusiasm levels are more than 200%. So maybe after a week, maybe after a month, maybe after 6 months, are we that enthusiastic when we were on the first day? It is like that only. So everybody wants to start a new company, do something new. The enthusiasm levels are very, very, very high. But that enthusiasm levels, even after 6 years, should be on the same levels. Either 200% initially, they should be 400% after 6 years or 10 years. And whatever the mundane tasks, day-to-day routine tasks are there, are you excited about doing those tasks also? That even can be jhadu poja of your office. I'm just giving a literal example. So let me remind you again and again and again, it is not so exciting to run the business. It is very exciting to start a business. There are again challenges, different challenges at different stages. Like suppose I start a restaurant. The challenges of starting restaurants are totally different. When I want to replicate that, I want to go for franchisee, I want to go for chain of restaurants. So the challenges are different. One more very, very interesting aspect I found is the people who got successful and the people who got failure is, did they pivot? So if my product, if whatever I'm selling is not being sold, there are no takers for it. Am I pivoting it? Am I changing it as per the need of the industry? as per the need of the market? Am I agile enough? Am I iterating? If I do that, I am successful. If I don't do that, I'm a failure. Okay. I repeat again, persistence. It's not so exciting, guys. So remember. Now, the moment we use this word angel investor, I visualize angel literally coming and taking me in its arms. That's what is the role of an angel investor, because he is the first guy who is going to get associated with you, who is going to mentor you, who is going to take care of your finances, lot many things. So be very, very careful, guys. This guy is the one who is going to change your stakes. So select your angel investors. Be very, very, very selective. So you can be, you can check whether he's empathic. Empathy is there in him, whether he has vision, whether, so you can understand what are your requirements that they meet it, because he is gradually committed to your product and your startup journey. So you together, now your angel investor and you together are growing this product. Okay. So one more line of caution, don't go for very high funding initially. I request Sunil, are you interjecting, Sunil?
Yes. So one of the questions which I always get is how do you raise funds, right? So at the beginning stages, I think this is really important that you should try and get the money from anywhere without any evaluation. Right? First round typically are done by what I call internal, like most of the founders. These are the terms which we should be absolutely aware of that. That the founders will do the first round of funding. Maybe it might be a little bit of a bootstrap funding. And external round, this is important. Again, families and friends, they can come up to 50 lakh rupees, right? But the reason why it is important for a further investor round is that key investors, they actually try and figure key how much your friends and family have belief in you, right? So getting some sort of a money, even some money from your families and friends, because वो सिर्फ बोलने के लिए नहीं है वो कुछ अपना पैसा भी invest कर रहे हैं. That is the message which gets to the investor. And then we get the angel investor round and the VCs round. So typically angel investor round is up from 50 lakhs to 3 crores and venture capitalist thing would be from 3 crores to 10 crores. So this is important. And I think that this is what you need to understand as far as the funding things are concerned. Okay. Rajesh, over to you.
Yeah. Sunil spoke about angel investors and venture capitalists and all the people who are going to invest in you. If you're a startup, guys, remember that don't go to the people and ask for funds by claiming that I can get this company, profitable company within a year. He is least bothered, the VC or the angel investor, whosoever are the investors, they are least bothered about the profits you are going to get. They are more bothered about the revenue, which you can bring in the beginning. The self-sustainable model, at least within 6 months, within 1 year, are you able to generate some revenue? That's what they are going to see. And the most important component is, are you scalable? Is your company scalable? That too exponentially scalable. If that is there, then and then only the angel investors, the venture capitalists will enter, because they will enter and they will exit also, because angel investor comes, he exits, taken over by venture capitalists. Then the journey ends till your company becomes a publicly listed. So if you look at few of the startups like Oyo, Flipkart, Paytm, Amazon, initially they were all loss making. So does it mean the venture capitalists or the investors said, no boss, we are not going to back you up? It was not like that. They knew that these are scalable and these are exponentially scalable and they have an exit point somewhere. Similarly, if you look at the journey of McDonald's in India, it entered Indian market in 1997. It was a loss-making company for 18 years in India, guys. So they first showed their profits in the year 2018. Again, a very, very big mark of caution. Your angel investor, your investor always expects you to be self-sustainable at least in a year, 6 months down the line. Okay. Then there is one more interesting aspect. how startups get valued so much, rather how they get valued. It is not like your typical company wherein you say return of revenue is this much and this much is the valuation of my company. It's not like that. The valuation of a startup company, at least tech, fintech companies, is intrinsic value that depends on scalability, exponentiality, possibility of wealth creation, and many more aspects like that. For example, in Ignition Incubation Center is today valued more than 3 crores, and startups we are incubating, one of the startups like Ignis Nova or AgriFortel, its valuation is today more than 10 crores. So the startup valuation is not typical valuation. It is a intrinsic value, depends on the scalability aspects. This is again, I request Sunil to, Sunil, are you there?
Yes. So here, typical steps in getting the investment, right? So it is really, really important that we need to take you through various steps about how you are going to get the investment, right? So first thing is a pitch. We talked about the pitch multiple times, right? And then once the pitch is done, it is really, really important that we need to do multiple follow-ups. So you need to keep on following up with the guy, with the person who you have given this pitch. After that comes valuation and negotiations. Okay. So what they are going to do is that if they are really interested, then they'll say that, okay, what exactly is the valuation of your company? How do I negotiate with you? Then they are going to send a term sheet. And the term sheet will have some sort of a contract, right? They will do some sort of a legal and financial due diligence, right? Figuring out what exactly is your company, what is the approach of your company, and so on and so forth. Once this thing is done, then we will, especially if I'm an investor, we will get into some sort of an agreement, which we typically call a shareholder agreement. Once all these steps are done, then you're going to get what we call MITB, which is money in the bank. This is very, very important, right? So getting the investment is not that easy, right? You need to create a pitch. You need to follow multiple times, have a lot of patience. Valuations and negotiations will happen. A lot of terms and conditions will be discussed, and legal and financial due diligence will be done, right? So this is something which I think that everybody needs to make sure that they understand, and they take it very, very seriously, because it's not it's not a very quick kind of thing wherein we say that, okay, we given an idea and we have pitched to the investor and we get the money.
Yeah. This is as per Government of India, the startup definition. Till 2017, it should be 5-year-old company, and revenue should be less than 25 crores, and innovation in some part. But post 2017, now they are recognized by Startup India Initiative, as per the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. The tenure has been increased to 7 years, and turnover should be less than 25 crores per year. And you should be able to create wealth, employment generation, scalability, innovation. All these aspects should be there to be recognized as a startup by Government of India or the Startup Initiative of India. Yeah, let us say you're a student and you want to start a company. So there are multiple options, but we are highlighting here 2 options. Either you can be a private limited company, or you can be a limited liability company. If you don't want many risks, if you want an easy mechanism, you don't want to get engulf yourself in taxation and all that, then you have a partner, minimum 2 directors should be there. Then you go for a LLP, that is limited liability company. But if you're a private limited company, then investors will be taking you seriously. The look and feel is more professional, but the compliances are more as compared to limited liability company. But in a private limited company, liability on an entrepreneur is low because of many laws which are coming into existence. Taxation is dual, boss, because the dividend you pay, the shareholder will also pay the tax, and you will also pay the tax. But again, you will have minimum 2 directors if you want to start a company. That's it. You can either start a private limited company or a limited liability company. You need at least a partner for that. Now, if I am starting a company, I'm a student, what do I do? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to register myself with Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So for that, whatever the documentation is required, am I going to do all the documentation on my own? Strongly, I say don't do that. Identify a chartered accountant, identify an agent or a chartered accountant who is from your area, whom you can reach easily, and who has done successfully at least 10-15 such startup registrations, and he can give you 2-3 references wherein you can check बस इसके साथ काम ठीक ठाक तो हुआ ना, डिले तो नहीं हुआ ना, पैसा तो ज्यादा नहीं लिया ना. Use that and then go for a register. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to register your company with Ministry of Corporate Affairs. This is its website, www.mca.gov.in. So once you register, you are a company. Either you are a private limited company or you are a limited liability company. But am I a startup? No, I am not a startup, though I am a startup. But how I am going to be a startup? For that, I have to be recognized by this Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. So I have to register here with few documents, and again, your CA will help you in that. Then there will be a certificate given to you by DIPP saying that you are a startup and you can get all the benefits of the startups from the Startup India initiative, whether it's rebates and so on. So these are the two websites you remember: www.mca.gov.in or dipp.gov.in. Okay, so again, if you're a startup, you're a student. So for you, there are every state has a startup initiative. For example, this is Maharashtra State's MSINS, Maharashtra State Innovation Society. This is for Bihar, this is for Telangana. They say the startup initiatives of Kerala and Telangana are on the forefront compared to others. Now, all these state startup organizations have tied up with premier institutions like IITs, and they have established the incubation centers at the IITs. For example, IIT Bombay has this SIGN, Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So what the incubation centers do, Sunil will tell definitely, but again, they will give you some seed funding, they'll do incubation, they'll give all the technical, financial, and all the support. Now, again, one strong suggestion has come from my team like Srushti and Piyush that if you could get funding from BIRAC, nothing like that, you're getting gold. Okay, there are multiple schemes from BIRAC. This is for biotechnology, by the way. One of the scheme I quoted here is SPARSH. And if you're an academician and a researcher, you pretty well know DST, Department of Science and Technology. You can approach them, but you pretty well know that these are the places where there are a bit delays also. Okay, I hand over to Sunil now.
All right, so I think that we're doing pretty fine on the time, right? It's 12:03, so maybe I'll take 3 or 4 minutes to tell you about Ignition Incubation Center, or what I call it IIC. You might have seen, and I think that there was one question which was posed, so I think that I can even answer that question here. So Ignition Incubation Center, again, as you can see, it is a incubation center which is hosted at SIGC and RGCMS college premises. We have dedicated about 25,000 square feet of place for this thing. And what is the vision? The vision is to have become an all-encompassing startup ecosystems that nurtures innovation and research. And we want to help budding entrepreneurs to propel in the world of future. What are some of the infrastructures which are available? And you need to look at whenever you have an idea, whenever you do some sort of a proof of concept, right? Whenever you are looking for an incubation center, what are some of the things which you should be looking for? What is the infrastructure available here, right? So at Ignition, we have hardware labs, like we have PCB fabrication, development, 3D printing, etc. We also have workshops, mechanical workshops, electrical workshops, if you want to do some sort of a POC or you want to do some sort of a prototype. Conference room, training rooms, co-working spaces, absolutely important, right? Co-working spaces, again, as I said, how do you come up with an idea? You need to have some sort of an environment. You need to have a 7x24 place wherein you can sit, you can work, you can ideate, right? We also have a state-of-art biotechnology labs. Of course, you need to go to Nanded for that. If you want to do some sort of a DNA analysis or anything for that matter, you want to do soil testing. These are the things, this is the infrastructure which is available within Ignition Incubation Center, right? More importantly, we have about 100 acres of irrigated farmland, which comes under Krishi Vigyan Kendra, right? And here we also have mentors who are agriculture scientists who can help you if you want to have some sort of a startup in the agriculture space. We also have AI labs. We also have set up an agreement to use a supercomputer wherein if you have your data sets and you want to do some sort of processing, we can definitely provide you with that so that you can get some sort of a high computing power for any of your AI algorithms. And definitely we have technology expert, industrialists, chartered accountants, lawyers, and everybody who can mentor your idea, your proof of concept to make sure that we can take it from idea to reality or from idea to a product. I have just given you the website here, which is ic-india.org. And these are some of the things which I wanted to tell, right? As Rajesh was telling, we have AgriFotel, which is a product of Ignis Nova. The founders are Piyush Kumar and Srishti Arora, right? Their specialty is, again, I think that if we have time, I can take 5 minutes to talk to you about what exactly they are doing. We also have CRAFT, which is Center for Research and Alternative Farming Technologies. They specialize in hydroponics and aquaponics. We also have Intellect, which actually does this customized technology solutions. But these are the three, and there are multiple who are waiting in a pipeline. So we need to evaluate. We need to make sure that they are worthy to be incubated, and then we will be able to incubate. So I'm going to take exactly 2 to 3 minutes to talk about AgriFotel or Ignis Nova. This is the company founded by Piyush and Shrishti. These are my juniors from BITS Pilani, and they came up with the idea. And this is how you need to come up with, how do you find the problem? How do you find the problem? The problem was very simple, right? In Marathwada area, there was a major disease on a crop called Bondali, which was actually on a cotton, right? And a lot of crops lost. There was a tremendous amount of problem and tremendous amount of loss which the entire Maharashtra government suffered because of the entire 1 year, the entire cotton crop got lost. So they come up with the idea that why it happened. Can we do something about it? Can we detect that crop disease before it can happen or before it is visible to a naked eye? And they come up with this vision saying that, you know what, maybe we can have some sort of a hyperspectrum camera. Maybe we can look at it from a satellite imagery. Maybe we can fly drones. We can see what exactly this thing is happening and how we can detect some of the crop diseases before they can happen. How do you do it? You look at the pictures, not RBG, which is like red, blue, green kind of thing, but it is a hyperspectrum image, right? And more importantly, you need to have an historical data figuring out if what does a healthy crop look like? What does a diseased crop look like? And they started their journey. I think that they are doing phenomenal. And the way the product started developing was that actually it started with this concept. But then when we started discussing, we said that, okay, before detecting a crop, can we detect whether there's a vegetation? That is absolutely important, because when I started talking to district collectors and agriculture officer with a simple question, how do you detect an impact of drought? And they said that we send people. I said, really? You're going to send people to look at the crops when the crops are not even visible? Like, if you look at a sugarcane crop, you don't know what exactly is happening in the middle of the field. How can you do that? We have technology. We can tell you at least that what is the impact of a drought, whether this entire area has a vegetation or it is just burning out, right? Then the second thing was that, okay, can we detect crops? Of course we can detect a crop. Why? Because a crop, as far as a hyperspectrum image is concerned, they are going to have a different kind of color combination. After that, if a crop is healthy, can we detect a yield of a crop, right? Like say, for example, soybean. Can we detect whether how much soybean we are going to have, whether the crop is healthy or not? That was a fantastic thing which these guys are working on. Now, the next step which we will be working on is trying to create some sort of a marketplace wherein we can tell that this is the yield of soybean in Marathwada area. And then we can go tell this problem or this data or this information to DMarts of the world or Reliance of the world, trying to figure out whether we can become some sort of an aggregator wherein we can combine farmers and we can also combine their markets. So that is something which everybody needs to start looking at. And one of the questions which I always get is that how do I know what problems to solve? To be honest with you, the answer is very simple. You keep your eyes, your ears, and everything open. Right now, you will see 10,000 problems, even from a place wherein you start, from your home to your workplace. Even today, whatever we are doing, this is an innovation. This is a problem which we wanted to solve. What is the problem? We wanted to make sure that the idea of entrepreneurship need to reach to multiple people. We got a channel. This is a Zoom channel, right? We are sitting at home. I'm literally sitting in a bedroom, like, although I'm wearing a coat, but I'm sitting in a bedroom, but I'm able to get in front of you. This is the innovation, right? Otherwise, I would have to dress up completely and go try to figure out you should come to a specific location and give this pitch. This has become so easy. So this is the problem which has been solved, right? So again, start thinking creatively, start trying to figure out, like, where exactly what society में कौन से problem हम solve कर सकते हैं, what problems need a solution, and more importantly, what problems के solution से हमको पैसा मिल सकता है. So that is a very, very important lesson which we need to take, right? Now, I think that we are towards the end of this thing, and we will spend about 10 or 15 minutes. I think that we are doing really, really good on this thing. So we'll spend some time on trying to pick up few questions from the chat box or any other place. And even if you get an opportunity, you can even send the questions to Radhika ma'am, who is moderating this thing. And we will definitely get back to you with some sort of answer. So ma'am, if you can just ask some of the questions which you're seeing.
Yeah.
Rajesh, you want to say something, please?
Yeah, thanks to all the participants. There are many from multiple places. I see one participant from Zambia, one participant from Bangalore. Fantastic. But regarding queries, if I am comfortable, I'll raise my hand. If I
Okay.
can.
All right.
Yeah.
Radhika ma'am?
Yes, sir. Okay. So success of a webinar is entirely dependent on the audience. You all have been doing great by being interactive and asking too many questions. We'll be handling some queries now. Now, the first question that came up was about a lean approach. That is it applicable to all the setups?
Yes. So very interesting question. And to be honest with you, I have been a big proponent of lean approach, right? But depending upon the use case, the whole idea, there are pros and cons of both this approach, right? The waterfall approach, which we keep on talking about, it takes time. And based on my experience, and I will drive this experience from software methodology, right? It is instead of taking the entire process of, okay, I need to write the specs, I need to get all the specification, then I need to do the design and all that kind of thing. Maybe if you have that luxury of breaking it up, then I would definitely propose a lean approach. It has definitely some sort of advantages. It is a very chaotic. That is a disadvantage. But the problem right now, again, I might have a slight bias towards a lean approach than towards the waterfall approach.
Okay, the second question that we have is how to find investors.
Okay, that is also a very important question, right? So investors, the best possible place for you to find an investor is there are n number of competitions which happen, and they come under the guise of startup competition. Government of India does that competition. A lot of private organizations do that. Even Ignition, at Ignition, we have this competition called Innopreneurship, wherein we call multiple juries. And these juries, they will come, they will ask you some sort of a questions about what exactly is your product. And in that juries, you will have some or other investors. Also, more importantly, we have a network of investors, and this comes through networking, right? So the answer to your question is, number one, participate in multiple of those startup competition to present your idea. Number two, if you are incubated in any kind of incubation network. So in the network, we know a lot of investors who are interested in smart energy, who are interested in technology, who are interested in agriculture. And that is how you are going to get some of the investors.
Yeah, I'd like to add upon what Sunil said. As he rightly said, If you're a student and if you're a startup, the best platform to you is all the incubation centers in IITs, and they conduct a lot of activities wherein you participate and try to win and all that. Also corporates nowadays, like our Ignition also has an example, like Ignis Nova people, they went to Marico and they got a fantastic funding opportunity from there also through this. The best way is you network at multiple, participate in multiple activities, be visible everywhere, whether it is co-working space, whether it's incubation centers, try to be in the crowd, you'll get opportunities.
Okay, so the next question by one of our audience is extremely interesting. And the question is there any age limit for starting a startup?
Rajesh, you want to go?
I'll answer. So the age limit is 18 years. You should be above 18 years. If you Google, you'll find a startup started by 82-year lady. So there is no age limit as such.
And just to substantiate that, right? Again, I have been jurying into multiple of these startup competition events, and I have seen there is no pattern. So you will see as young kids as young as 18 and as old as 82, and their ideas are equally compelling, right? So बिल्कुल कोई age limit नहीं है. Age is just a state of mind. You have an idea, just go for it.
Yeah. Okay, as the session is extremely interesting and but still we have to, we are running short of time and we have already exceeded our limit. So I think that I should like to thank the audience who have been extremely patient and for posting too many queries. I would also like to thank Sunil sir and Rajesh sir for their valuable insights. And if you have any questions, you can please post the questions at the ID given here.
And also, ma'am, can you tell them about the feedback form, because we need to know what.
Yes, sir.
So
a feedback link has been posted in chat. We would like you to fill the feedback form so that we can get your feedback and we can improve on the quality of seminars and provide you and help you and serve you help better. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, ma'am, for moderating this thing. And there are just as a last minute things, I think that I just opened up the question answer session, and there are two questions which I still want to answer. One of the question was very interesting. I'm reading it really fast, but apparently the question is about the partnership and whether you need to have a different sets of people to co-found any kind of startup. Let me try and tell you, as an investor, as a mentor, as a networker, I would definitely want that you have some sort of a co-founder who does not have the similar skill set. ये बहुत important चीज है, और I think that somebody tried to ask that question, if I'm not wrong, and that was one of the intentions behind this thing. We need to know whether you can gel with other people or not, and that becomes absolutely important. And the second question, which was getting loan from the bank for a startup, is it advisable? I'm not sure whether today the banks will be ready to give you any kind of loan until unless you see some sort of an investor. So I would rather definitely discourage you from going to the bank at the initial stages. You should just stick with the investor. So that's it. I think, Rajesh, you want to close?
Yeah. On the loan thing, guys, it is not at all advisable to go for loans in the initial stages. The experience says that don't go after that. First, as Sunil sir showed you the process, first raise among yourself, then your family, friends, then go for the angel investors. That's the best way. Don't go for, आपका load बढ़ाओ मत loan लेके.
All right, ma'am. That's it. Radhika, ma'am, you want to close it?
Okay, so actually you have answered all the queries and everything has been done. We would like to sign off saying that we'll be meeting again with another interesting, this is a series of webinars. So we'll be meeting for one more seminar and we'll continue meeting. That's it.
Yes, thank you.
I'll close with, let me thank the team, Indira Gandhi College and team Rajiv Gandhi College. Fantastic job, guys. Then team Ignis Nova, Srishti and Piyush, Mr. Kannan, and many more people are there. And the most important, participants. Thanks, Sunil.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.